Where do you find God? Almost sounds like a loaded question, doesn't it? I mean, if God was someone you could find, wouldn't everyone be out searching? Well, rather than looking for something elusive, like a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, I reckon it's more about learning to recognise the way God is already present to us in our everyday lives. I'm Lizzie Oakes, and this is Where Do You Find God? My guest on the podcast today is Maria Boddington. Now, Maria is the CEO of Focus on the Family here in New Zealand. She's been in the role for 9 months and joins me in the studio today. Maria, welcome to Where Do You Find God?
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
9 months. Has that been a baptism of fire? Would you describe it a different way?
Wow. Yeah, that could be one way. I think the reality is when you step into something new, that the organisation or who you're working with is going to change, but you're also going to change.
Yeah,
because it confronts
sure.
things in yourself, and you have to articulate and then consider things that you hadn't considered before. So I'm doing heaps of learning and growing, and I'm super grateful. I'm really grateful. Sometimes it hurts more than I'd like, but
Yeah.
Or you get more tired, or you do things you wouldn't normally do. So I think that's that change. It just changes things.
Yeah. You've done, I understand, youth work for about 25 years of that experience under your belt. Tell us a little bit more about your life, your background, your family, that kind of thing.
Thanks, Liz. I am very blessed and very fortunate to grow up in a faith-filled family, and it was a faith I chose for myself when I was 13. Had such a really beautiful encounter with the Lord. And then I journeyed through high school, said yes to every opportunity, got involved in life, just said yes and yes and yes. Got married when I was 19, said yes. By the time I was 23, I'd already travelled to 23 countries around the world on mission.
Wow.
So I have been that yes girl. I'm grateful for life. Yeah, I'm grateful. So look, life hasn't always been a bed of roses. There's been plenty of cups of suffering along the way, and I'm very grateful for my faith in those seasons, right?
Yeah, I hear you. Maria, in Acts chapter 17, verse 27, it says, God intended that they would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from each one of us. So my question for you today, Maria, is where do you find God?
Where do I find God? I find God right here, right now. Right here in this place.
Tell us about that.
Because I believe that he's in each of us. So he's in you and he's in me, because I want to be more like Christ. So every time I'm reading the Bible, I'm wanting my mind to be renewed, to think like him. I ask the Holy Spirit to come and dwell within me. And because I'm a fully integrated being, right? Body, mind, and spirit, we're all one. So Christ is right here, right now, as we talk. Where is God? He's right here. So whatever I go through, wherever I'm going, I have this capacity, because I choose to listen that way and commune with God. I will hear him speak to me when I'm working out at the gym. When I'm talking to somebody else, I will hear him say something to me, and I will then ask the question. I will hear God and know him at all times if I choose to put my heart in that direction and be in communion with him.
Okay, that's an interesting statement, if I choose.
Yeah.
And so that would be the same for all of us, you think?
Absolutely. It's a choice. It's a daily choice to start the day to go, good morning, Lord. My favourite time of the day is my quiet time in the morning, reading my Bible and saying my prayers and just being still and knowing him, just to consider his greatness. And then ask him to lead and guide me through my day, and then choose to see him and others as I journey through the day. And then even just listening to him. Like I was at the gym yesterday considering, what was I considering? I was talking about marriage yesterday. I talked to Andrew about marriage.
Andrew Urquhart over in Rima.
Yes, I did. And I was working out and I was exercising my body, and I could hear the Holy Spirit say to me, so Maria, you know how you've elevated your heart rate and you're experiencing the goodness from that? it is no different from when you put your marriage in a place where you test it and strengthen it. So when you go to a marriage course or you invest time in it, you put it under heat, you put it under a bit of intensity. It's a bit like working out, and it's actually really good. It elevates the heart rate in marriage. It brings about renewal. It brings about adrenaline and emotions. So, and positive and negative, I appreciate that, but it's a really important for cultivating growth. It's the same as what we do when we exercise our body. Yeah, so I love that. I listen for him all the time, everywhere I am, at all times.
Yeah. So you listen to him, you've learnt to do that. Has that taken lots of practice and lots of years to know how to just tune in like that?
Yeah, it is a discipline, and it has taken time, and it's choosing to seek him even in the dark times. I think they will be the trickiest. Like, where are you in this darkness? Where are you in this profound grief that I was experiencing? Where are you in the times of sorrow and loss? And finding him, and then hearing him in those dark places, and then hearing him. It's the same voice that I'd hear when I was at this amazing big youth event, and you've got a great speaker and he's inspiring you and you're feeling excited. I can hear the Holy Spirit say something to me there, and I can hear the same Spirit speak to me in that dark time. So as I grew in confidence, that's the Lord speaking to me, then I would attune to that. And I made a choice then to attune to it every day in everything that I do. Yeah. Because I was hungry. I was like, man, I just want to hear your voice all the time. Like, I never even want to leave my quiet time. It's relentlessly I leave because I need to get on with breakfast and organise lunches and do the job. But that's my favourite time of the day. I can spend an hour and a half with the Lord and it feels like 5 minutes.
Wow. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So this God that you have learnt to tune into his presence, whatever you're doing, the good times, the bad times, the mundane times, what's he like, Maria?
He is peaceful, he is loving, he is kind, he is generous, and he is good. And he sees all of me, and I trust him with all of me. And so it's just walking in that.
And have you always known him to be that way, or did you have to do some unlearning in your Christian journey, as many of us have had to?
Yeah, I think the biggest barrier was, bad habits that you learn or lies that you could believe about yourself. So having that profound experience when I was 13 to know that God loved me was so deep and profound that it enabled me to journey through my college years, even though I lived with a lie in my head that I wasn't good enough. So that lie was really loud. It was not until I was 22 that I discovered during a very beautiful prayer time that I believed that lie because I was born before my parents were married and I had grown up in the situation where I was an inconvenience. And so we carry that, like that's embedded in who we are, like that's the start of the journey. So it was very easy for the enemy to lie to me and say, you're not good enough, because there was this wounding of being pushed out of society, out of the norm in that time. So that was a genuine suffering, and I love the Lord. I allowed him into those memories, into my past. I invited Jesus into those dark spaces, and I chose no longer to believe that lie, that I was an inconvenience, that I wasn't good enough, that I didn't measure up, that I wasn't wanted. And I believe that he created me. He formed me in my mother's womb. I am good because he created me. And so I needed to trust in that and then allow him to heal me. So when those healings happen, that's 22, but look, I'm now 47. There's still, you have to apply, you have to listen. I still have to choose to read the Bible, to continue to know, is that something God would say? You still have to give yourself the signpost, right? You still have to choose to listen to good, healthy music that's telling you the truth, to reinforce the truth. We can have seeds of faith in our life, but we must water them with the truth, which is why I hope people are listening to this podcast. It becomes a watering. It continues to water the truth that's already in somebody's life. Yes, Maria, I agree with you. I found that to be true. So we're watering the truth, right? And so the more that we enable these voices to be a part of our lives, we will continue to walk in faithfulness.
Yeah.
And I want to be that servant that runs to heaven's gates. I want to run faithfully. I want to run with integrity. I want to be there on that finish line, and I want to run the race well. So when I often ask people to pray for me now, it's look, pray that I may remain faithful because I have the capacity to fall, to hurt others, or to hold a grudge. If I get wounded too deeply, then I can hurt and then not forgive. I have that capacity. It's not because I hear God that I'm without that capacity.
You're a human being, right?
Absolutely, yeah. But I'm not afraid now of feeling great big feelings anymore. I used to be.
I hear you.
I remember when I was grieving the loss of my father-in-law, it was taking me weeks and it got really dark. And I was like, oh, Lord, this is so hard. Like, why is this so hard? And he said, because you loved so deeply.
Yeah.
You're going to grieve so deeply.
Yeah, it's the price you pay for love, grief.
Right.
It's actually an honour and a privilege, I think. You love somebody that much.
Correct.
That you cry and you feel that depth of pain.
Correct.
It's not nice in it, but when I reflect on the losses I've had in my life, I'm like, that wasn't an honour and a privilege that I loved my mother, that I loved my father that much,
Correct.
That it hurt that much.
Yeah. And that made all the difference to frame that grief, doesn't it? Like you just all of a sudden, like, okay, Lord, all right, well, I trust you that you've made me love this well, and now you've made me to grieve this well. Okay, cool. And you're in the middle of it. Fantastic. Yeah. So all these experiences help you to become, okay, cool, I want to hear more of what you have to say. So I daily then choose to go, where are you? And I know he's here. So
yeah, I love what you say just in closing, in your capacity. You've got a big capacity, but you recognise that you need to be in that place where you're receiving his love and his affirmation and his gentleness and his kindness and his unconditional love. And that, to me, seems like it's the fuel that keeps you going.
I wouldn't do anything else with it. I couldn't do this job without it.
Maria Boddington, thank you for joining me today on Where Do You Find God?
Thank you.
Tune in every Wednesday afternoon at 4:30 on Sanctuary, or listen and subscribe via your favourite podcast platform and give us a review so others can find us.